Hello and welcome to the Forza show, where the lift steps behind 5. Sonic the Hedgehog is the main reason Sega is still here today. The gimmick, his super speed, has made him the most recognizable characters today. Like Mario as well, but I'll get to him next time. The games for the Sega Mega Drive / Genesis are the pinnacle of the Sonic series. I mean, what would the Mega Drive games be? What would the Mega Drive be without Sonic the Hedgehog? And yes, and what would we be without Super Mario? We wouldn't have Sonic the Hedgehog. Basically, we need Super Mario Brothers as well, so Sonic would have a competition. That was the main reason why he was created. But ever since the demise of the Dreamcast, the Sonic games just went to crap, and fans thought we were never going to see a Sonic game ever again. Or a good one. Okay, Sonic Rush is good, but never the home console games. But then Sonic Colors was released, and it was supposed to be good. I haven't played it yet, but I do want to get it. And then there was Sonic Generations, which was an excellent game and celebrated the anniversary in style. But we're going to look at the ones that failed to do what they're supposed to do, and the ones which are instant classics. To me. My opinion, not yours. But first, let's look at some god-awful Sonic games. At number 4 is Sonic Heroes. In Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the game introduced Tails, miles per hour. See the pun? Hear the pun? The two-tailed fox who will either help you or get you killed. Well, sometimes help you. In Sonic 3, who was more useful than before, as he can make you reach the higher places. And the third one also introduced Knuckles, the Hickner. What the hell is a Hickner? Sorry, it's very hard to say it. And more games introduced more characters. Then Sonic Heroes was created, and I hate to admit it, this was one of the first ever Sonic games I ever played. And like Mario, I knew the gimmick, he runs fast, so I thought this was the game where you run fast in a lot of stages and jump on enemies, you know, the usual stuff. But instead there's 11 more characters in this game. In basic terms, these 12 characters are split into teams. Sonic Team, the Chaotix Team, the Rose Team, and the Dark Team. Which one is the Rose Team? The most annoying thing is that while you do get some segments where you run fast, you have to stop for a while to kill some enemies or get to certain places, but you have to switch characters to do this, which just, yeah, it takes away parts of the gimmick. Not a lot. As much as I credit this as being one of the worst, it's not that bad. It's okay, average, not good, not bad, just have a go to play with the weekend. But I hate the fact that this was the first Sonic game I ever played. If you want to play a Sonic game that you haven't even played, please play the first Sonic game. I'll get to that in a minute. At number 3 is Sonic Unleashed. Now when I saw the gameplay for this, I was hooked. I mean, I really wanted to get it. The problem is, I only had a Wii. I didn't have a PS3 or Xbox because I couldn't afford it. I can only afford the Wii. And how terrible it was. At first, the normal Sonic levels aren't that bad. I mean, you run really fast. It's brilliant. It's a very, very good levels. They're basically the daytime levels. And then we come to the nighttime level. Right. I'm going to tell you the story. The story is like, basically, Sonic tries to stop Eggman again. But Eggman finally catches him this time. And you're probably thinking, yeah, well, now Eggman can finally kill him. Just as he has tried to do for many years. Now, he's finally gonna... No, I'm joking. He turns him into a werewolf. Why? That's a crap premise. That infamous Hedgehog. Probably one of the characters that is up there with Big the Cat as, to me, annoying. Now, like the nighttime levels with Hedgehog is just terrible. It's repetitive because of the stupid combat, boring because he doesn't run fast. Then again, he never runs at all. Basically, the levels are just beating the crap out of monsters, beating up monsters, try and swing from ledges, which are very annoying, especially if you got a Wii. There's nothing pleasant about these levels at all, to the point where I gave it to my cousin, and to add salt to my wounds, he doesn't even play it. This game would have worked with just Sonic and just the normal levels, and leave out the Hedgehog. The last time I played it was in the normal Sonic level though, but this was the level where you were in an ice level and you had to dodge ice blocks, touch one and you have to start all over again. The problem is he's so fast that you don't have time to dodge anything. I mean, there's tons of ice blocks around. And it really frustrated me to the point where I didn't play anymore. It has a few good things about it. No, the daytime levels are good. Nighttime levels, just terrible. And the funny thing about this is, the Hedgehog hasn't been in any game ever since. Probably cameos, but that's it. You never even play as him at all in any game. And in Sega terms, it's probably for the best. In number 2 is both Sonic Labyrinth and Sonic 3D. Sonic in 2D works. Sonic in 3D works when Sonic in 3D does work. But one format that a Sonic game will never work with is isometric, as we see two games that are merely the same have different concepts. We'll start off with Sonic Labyrinth on the Game Gear from 1995, and the story, well, Sonic has lost his speed and you must get keys to progress so you can get your speed back, as your speed was stolen from Dr. Robotnik. And that's the problem. His speed, he hasn't got it, taking away the only thing that makes Sonic and the game all the more fun, and making it even more slower. It's an isometric game, as I just said, and Sonic without his speed is slow as a snail. No, similar to a snail. No, is a snail. The only time he does quite move fast is his speed dash, which is the only way and easy way to destroy enemies. But try getting the right angle to defeat your enemies. This game is just boring as hell. I think I beat 2 levels and I just wanted to put it down. Sega must have gone lazy with this crap just to sell a Game Gear Sonic game, as there were decent games for the console. But this was one of the worst from the Game Gear. And then Sega thought they could make another isometric Sonic game and make it better, but it's still not good. This is where we introduce ourselves to Sonic 3D Flicky's Island. The story introduced Flicky Birds, with one of them having its own game 5 years before. But I don't know if it has anything to do with that game. But they are kidnapped by Dr. Robotnik and turn into robots so they can find Chaos Emeralds. And it's up to Sonic to rescue them. So the whole basis of the level is to collect 10 Flicky Birds in each level by hitting enemies. And that's it! Every single level apart from Act 3, you just collect 10 Flicky Birds by hitting enemies. For the running parts are just awful. Because it's isometric, the controls are terrible. However, if you have a PlayStation player, if you're playing it on a PlayStation game, then the controls are better, but not best. And Sonic just slides a lot. I mean, trying to control him and the speed, it just doesn't fit with the isometric game, and Sonic running through doesn't feel correct and gives you a headache. However, the graphics are good for its time, and there were a lot of potential for it. But the game itself is boring, doing the same thing every level. It's just just repetitive. Okay, you do beat bosses in in the third acts of each level, which are actually better. I actually enjoy them more. Yeah, the challenging is something different. And I think that there was a Sega Saturn game with critics saying it's absolutely worse. I don't need to say no more, but it's just boring after 5 minutes. Don't even buy it. And the worst Sonic game ever is Sonic R. This bloody game is half done. Just half done. A half glass of water, because milk tastes nicer than this watered game if it was finished. It's basically a racing game, hence the title Sonic R, which probably stands for racing, where Sonic finally doesn't need a car but his own 2 feet, as well as the other characters except for Amy, Rose, and Dr. Robotnik, who have vehicles, the lazy kids. You think this is a good idea, and it is. But let's start off with the graphics. It's half finished. Some parts look but ugly even for the mid-90s, while some parts look okay. The controls are just the worst. I mean, trying to control even Sonic in a straight line is just like the hardest thing ever to do. And you can't even turn properly either unless you drift. There's like controls where you can drift, but it still doesn't make a lick of difference. Then there was the music, that god awful 90s music. It's so annoying, so generic, so out of place that it will not brighten up your day, just floods to you with rain. There are 5 courses and they all suck. When you get a Chaos Emerald, you either receive it or not, which isn't fair. I played this in the Sonic Gems collection for the PlayStation 2, but playing it in 2-player, there is nothing. The background's there, but everything's disappeared. I think it's something to do with a bloody glitch in the game. But then again, I played on the PlayStation 3, so there could have been some problem. Oh, wait a minute. Somebody had a GameCube. Somebody had it on GameCube. Same thing. Yeah, what a piece of crap. But even if you play it on the Sega Saturn, PC, PlayStation 2, GameCube, it's still a god-awful game and one of my worst Sonic games of all time. Now in this list I could have put Sonic the Hedgehog from 2006. I played it at my dad's house for 5 minutes, so it didn't really count because I didn't have a long extended experience with it. But from all the complaints from the fans of this game and all the problems with the game, I'm glad I didn't buy the game, and I will never buy it.